Hello there, I am Fmr Finance and this is Joy News Today. In the news is live from our studios here in Kokomlemle, Accra, also on DSTV channel 421 and GoTV channel 125 and all of our social media platforms. Our top stories this hour. Special prosecutor declares former Finance Minister Ofori-Atta wanted.
Ladies and gentlemen of the media, the OSP declares Kenneth Nanaya Ofori-Atta a wanted person. He is a fugitive from justice.
Details as he describes Mr. Ofori-Atta a fugitive from justice, and also government stops rotational celebration of Independence Day as it moves parade to Jubilee House at a cost.
We are going to have a significant ceremony at the presidency, and this will ensure that we minimize the often huge financial implications that come.
Well, more as it says the last Independence Day event cost the country 15 million Ghana cedis, and no political appointments yet. Supporters of the governing National Democratic Congress in the Chereponi district of the Northeast region hit the streets to display their anger. We'll hear from our correspondents on the ground. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. Please stay for details. We appreciate your company. Many thanks for choosing us. Office of the Special Prosecutor has declared former Finance Minister Ofori-Atta a fugitive. Kisi Ejabin says investigations by his office shows Ofori-Atta has caused financial loss to the state in several dealings, including the construction of the infamous National Cathedral and the Ghana Revenue Authority. Strategic Mobilization Ghana Limited, what you know as SML, he's been addressing a news conference.
These occurrences and the OSP's intelligence, which will not be revealed at this time for fear of compromising the investigation, are very instructive as not to put premium on Mr. Ofori-Atta's alleged imminent peril should he travel back to the jurisdiction. In any case, the purported medical letter transmitted through his lawyers to the OSP did not state so or demonstrate so. The OSP is unconvinced that the purported medical letter transmitted by Mr. Ofori-Atta through his lawyers to the OSP represents a medical report to the effect that Mr. Ofori-Atta is incapacitated or is so sickly and invalid to the extent that he is physically unable to return to the jurisdiction without imperiling his life. No serious law enforcement agency, and certainly not the OSP, will be convinced that the purported medical letter stops it from demanding the physical appearance of Mr. Ofori-Atta before it in the described circumstances. We are of the firm conviction here that this is only a ruse employed by Mr. Ofori-Atta in aid of his intention to avoid returning to the jurisdiction and to personally answer questions in respect of the investigations. We are convinced that the real intention of Mr. Ofori-Atta is what was communicated to the OSP in the very first letter transmitted by his lawyers on 31 January 2025. That is, he has left the jurisdiction indefinitely. That was what was communicated to us at the first instance, and that is his intention. He has no intention of willingly returning to the jurisdiction. That much is clear to us. Consequently, ladies and gentlemen of the media, the OSP declares Kenneth Nanaya Ofori-Atta a wanted person. He is a fugitive from justice. The OSP will take all necessary legal steps to secure his return to the jurisdiction and attendance at the OSP. And this is to Mr. Ofori-Atta. You have two choices. You can either return to the jurisdiction voluntarily, or the OSP will enforce your return.
Well, let's engage Michael Boydie. He's an anti-corruption campaigner with the Ghana Integrity Initiative. Thank you for joining us today. I'm quite certain that you may have followed that presser by the Office of the Special Prosecutor. What's your initial assessment of the entire presser anyway? If you can hear me, kindly unmute.
Yeah, good afternoon to your viewers. I think that Ghanaians will all receive this message with mixed feeling. However, it is important to state that nobody is above accountability, and that whenever people or we sign up for public office, we sign up with the belief and conviction that at all material moment we will be opened up or available for accountability. So on that score, there's nothing untoward. I think that the OSP is doing its job. The OSP is doing its job, and we need to commend him for doing what he was, what he set up to do.
Well,
that said,
okay.
We are so worried. Hello?
We can hear you. Please proceed.
Well, that said, I think we are also concerned about the resort to post-regime accountability, which is our way of fighting corruption. It would have been good if this action was taken earlier when the government was in power. Because Mr. Ofori-Atta left the Ministry of Finance some time ago, and so it would have nice, I think, when the government was in power. But that said, is holding public officers accountable. We all must support the OSP. But whilst we applaud and encourage support for the OSP, we must also encourage the OSP that just as it has started this investigation by making the public know, we encourage that by virtue of the person involved, the investigation must be must be very transparent, so that it doesn't sway supporters of one particular sect or Ofori-Atta supporters does not perceive this as some witch hunting, because a lot of politics had gone into the issues which he is being investigated for.
Right.
Sadly so. I mean, we have played a lot of politics with the cathedral issue. We have played a lot of politics with the SML issue. But they are all issues that concerns national resources.
Right.
And therefore, how the resources were put to use, must know, and the people in charge of managing those resources must be held accountable. So we welcome the investigation. We only encourage the OSP to continue making the investigation as transparent as he has started. At the same time, we also encourage Mr. Ofori-Atta to try and cooperate with the investigative body, so that at least if he's innocent of the allegations, he would vindicate his right.
Well,
and if he's not, then unfortunately the law is made to run its course.
Mr. Boyd, we took note of
also as a vote.
Right. We took note of the question that was asked as to whether or not this will not be some double investigation, because some of the cases that he cited that the former finance minister was involved in, we also saw that oral committee had also highlighted them, specifically SML and even the National Cathedral. And we're asking that once that committee has been charged and has been given to the Attorney General, will there not be any overlap in the investigation of some of these cases?
Well, I think that we all admit that the whole oral issue and mandate seems a bit complicated, and it's not clear. Even if they themselves explain their own mandate, sometimes you'll find different pieces of information and so very complex architecture that has been put in place. But that said, if the data that they had collected and handed over to the Attorney General, we must know that the Attorney General would have to carry out investigation through a body. The Attorney General itself does not investigate. They are prosecutorial outfit. Therefore, an investigative body would have to carry out the investigation, and then the Attorney General will pick up the case and prosecute. So if the OSP is prosecuting, let's also remember that the OSP is exercising a delegated prosecutorial authority.
Okay.
And so the powers of prosecution is, as per the Article 78 or so, is given to the OSP by the Attorney General. So we are not talking about a double jeopardy here or parallel investigation here.
Right.
They are all state bodies that within the value chain of law enforcement, they all have a role, and there is a point which each one of them starts and takes and ends. Right. So I think the most important thing is what we have called for a long time: institutional collaboration. I believe that if we elevate institutional collaboration a lot higher, this is a good case for which all the law enforcement agencies, from the investigative body through the prosecutorial body and even the adjudicating body, could all work together to ensure a successful management of case management, as it's called.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mr. Michael Boedi, for joining us. Now, away from that, and as you know, President John Dramani Mahama has ordered the National Investigations Bureau, NIB, to immediately investigate operations of the National Service Authority under the previous government following the discovery of more than 8,000 suspected ghost names on the payroll of the authority. Now, here is a statement which I'm going to be reading to you on our screens, dated Wednesday, February 12, 2025, and it hits: President Mahama orders investigation into National Service Authority ghost names scandal after clearance of arrears. It says that President John Dramani Mahama has ordered the National Investigations Bureau, NIB, to conduct immediate investigations into the operations of the National Service Authority under the previous government following the discovery of up to 81,885 suspected ghost names on the payroll of the authority. The ghost names were detected following a head count of active National Service personnel at the behest of the Minister for Finance as a prerequisite for the clearance of allowance arrears dating back to August 2024. The Ministry of Finance has, upon the completion of the head count, released an amount of 226 and a little over 226 covering allowance payment arrears for 98,145 actual National Service personnel. Now, this figure is 81,885 less than the 180,030 names presented by the previous management of the authority for allowance payment in 2025. You also have the conclusion saying that President Mahama has also tasked the new management of the authority to carry out urgent reforms with the view to establishing adequate controls to prevent a recurrence of the phenomenon of ghost names. And you would have that also on our social media platforms, and it is also signed by Felix Kwachi Ofosu, spokesperson of the president. Now, away from that, government says it has stopped the rotational celebration of Independence Day, moving the parade to the seat of government, Jubilee House, as a cost-cutting measure. Addressing the media earlier today, Minister of State for Government Communications Felix Fosu Kwache emphasized that government is committed to prudent way of spending government money on the score.
A significant ceremony at the presidency, and this will ensure that we minimize the often huge financial implications that come with this celebration. For that reason, I am going to announce a series of activities which will be held at the presidency, or if you like, Jubilee House, as it is now called. There is going to be a military guard of honor that will be reviewed by His Excellency the President. There will also be a cultural performance by 2 groups of basic school pupils. And then what we consider to be an impactful poetry recital by a senior high school student. Chiefs, religious leaders, basic, secondary and tertiary students, traders, political party representatives, and other sections of society will be in attendance. This event will be complemented or will be heralded by the President's ceremonial address, which then allows him to speak to the nation in a way that draws attention to the significance of the day. Now, this has become necessary once again because of the need to scale back on the escalating costs.
Well, moving on, let's bring you an update from the presidency as President John Dramani Mahama is set to travel to Germany and Ethiopia. A little later, our correspondents will bring us updates from that travel. But away from that, some supporters of the governing National Democratic Congress in the Chereponi district of the Northeast region have protested the lack of political representation in government. According to the party faithfuls, despite their consistent backing of the NDC, especially since 1992, they have seen little in terms of development, including poor road conditions, limited access to potable water, and inadequate educational facilities. Now, the supporters are asking the NDC leadership, including President Mahama, to recognize their contributions to the 2024 elections and commit to developing the constituency. Let's engage our correspondent, Eliasu Tanko, who joins us with more details. Eliasu, let's understand the nature of this protest we're seeing on our screens, but give us details as to what happened.
Well, the protest was held to demand political representation, essentially. And this is the constituency that the NDC party have won 5 times, NPP 3 times. So it looks like not a safe seat for both parties. But according to the protesters, they believe that the NDC always lose the seat anytime they refuse or they fail to honor their promise to them. And so they think that if the NDC keep their promise to them, they are going to make the Chereponi constituency a safe seat for the party. They are claiming that since 1992, they have wholeheartedly supported this particular NDC, and they do not understand why they do not have political representation. So they are calling on the NDC leadership, especially the President Mahama, to recognize their contribution to the 2024 elections by giving them political representation. They believe that the political representation will help solidify the grassroots in the constituency and always give the NDC victory in that particular constituency.
Well, usually when there is a protest or a petition like this, they would address it to a particular leadership. Maybe where did they march from and where did they end? And was there a formal petition to the leadership?
Well, they just, as you were, the district chief executive for that particular area is yet to be appointed. And so there's a kind of leadership vacuum in that particular constituency, except the regional minister who oversees the entire region. There's no political leadership currently in the Chereponi district, as in many parts of the country.
Right.
And so they march on the principal street of Chereponi and then converge at a location and read a prepared statement to the media.
Okay, thank you so much, Elias Tanko, our Northeast Regional Correspondent. Now, the Electoral Commission in Ashanti region, you recall that yesterday during the elections for the Council of State's regional elections, there was some chaos that was mad over there, and the counting didn't happen to the end of it. The EC has been addressing the situation, and my colleague Nanayo Jima has been there since yesterday, or was there the whole of yesterday, and brings us these details. Nanayo, what is the EC saying? Do they have a particular date for a re-election or counting? Bring us an update. Well, before that, let's listen to the EC.
After the incident, some of the thugs came here to attack some of my security personnel. They beat them. The word is they beat them. So we had to take some of them to hospital for treatment. So one of them suffered some cuts and said they hit his head against the wall. So we have to rush him to hospital for some scan to determine whether there's anything behind that. So, I mean, per the report, we have said that the guy is safe. Yesterday we brought nothing back. Nothing. The word is nothing. We did not bring anything back. Everything that we took to the center was destroyed by the thugs. So nothing came back from the center. I mean, we finished the process. We did the sorting. We allocated the ballot to candidates. Then as we were about to count, we were counting the first candidate. Then this thing was truncated. So we cannot determine that we've counted 2, 4, 3. EC has not declared anyone pay what happened yesterday. So we have not declared anyone a winner.
What is the way forward for this election?
Well, we've submitted our report to the commission. So we are waiting the commission to decide the way forward. So commission, maybe by close of the day, commission will issue some communique to tell us what we should do.
Well, Mr. Osei Insia is the regional EC director and has been addressing us. But let's get more from Love FM's Nanayo. Nanayo, Jima, please bring us updates. Yesterday, how did it really end? And is there any directive since the EC addressed the media?
So as the EC official said, immediately after they disrupted the process at the Regional Coordinating Council, since it shares the same compound, where the EC's office shares the same compound with the Regional Coordinating Council, some of these people went to the EC's office and they also overpowered the security at the EC's office, got access to the premises, and some of the officials of the EC, 3 of them, were also beaten. One of them sustained some injuries to the head, and he was taken to the hospital. According to the EC officials, the medical reports indicate that these 3 people are in stable condition. They are all very well, and they were discharged yesterday. Now, the new information coming in is that the police commander in the Ashanti region has been transferred after the incident yesterday. He was leading the team of police officers that were at the Regional Coordinating Council providing security for the election. The information is that he has been transferred, and there is another commander from the Central West Police District, Police Region, coming to the Ashanti region. The information is that immediately the new commander gets to the Ashanti region. He takes over from DCOP Frank, from the DC Abrokwa, who happens to be the regional police commander in the Ashanti region. So this is the information that we have. According to the EC, they are waiting on the commission in Accra to give them the way forward, communicate the way forward for the election.
Well, Nanayo, do we know that this transfer is directly linked to yesterday's chaos? Is this what we know? Is this what we can report?
We are unable to link it directly because we are yet to see any document to that effect. But it's widely speculated among the top ranks of the police in the Ashanti region. And our sources also indicate that this could be the major reason for the recent transfer that we are seeing.
Do we have any reactions from the candidates that were pursuing this position yesterday?
Yes, we've been able to get about 2 of these candidates. One way we touch base to the with the camp of Nana Cancer Board, who say that they are not happy with what happened because they believe that the sorting and the initial counting that had begun all indicates that their candidate would have won the election if the process had continued. So they are not happy. They want the EC to call out the figures that they had after the initial counting that they did there. But the EC this morning, responding to the issue, it says that the counting they did, or the numbers they counted, were quite negligible. They were still on the first candidate, which is Nana Cancer Board, so they are unable to declare any results yet. Also, the team for Mrs. Rose Hamilton also have been speaking, and according to them, their candidates also, they say that their candidate could have won the election if the election was allowed to end. So they want the EC to give a clear way forward for the election. They say that there is not the time for any of the candidates to hold themselves as winners of this election.
Right. Thank you so much, Nana Ojima. Away from that, Health Minister Kwabena Mintah-Kandor is in the Upper West region to assess the CSM situation, which has claimed more than a dozen lives. Whilst in the region, Mr. Akandor will be meeting the Acting Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Kaba Akreye, will also meet the Upper West Minister Charles Langwa and also traditional leaders in the region. Now, let's get more from Rafiq Salam. Rafiq, let's know whether he has arrived and what is it like in the Upper West region.
The Health Minister, Kwabena Mintah-Kandor, arrived about an hour ago at the airport. He was accompanied by the Acting Director General of the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Kaba Akreye. And so as I speak to you now, they are currently engaged in a meeting with staff of the Upper West Health Directorate. But before that, he addressed the press and then told us about the current figures, the current situation regarding CSM. He told us that they have gotten 90 suspected cases of the disease now in the Upper West region. 20 of them are confirmed. Out of these 20, 14 people so far have died from the disease. And so this is the situation in the Upper West region. But he's saying that the reason why they have gotten some of these areas is because of that some people refuse or they delay in attending to the health facilities. And that's the big reason why they have gotten some of these others. But he's saying that they have the people in the region, those who are affected by the disease, have no reason to die now because they have gotten the logistics, they have gotten the vaccine prepared for the disease. And so, henceforth, he doesn't expect anything untoward to happen in the region. Again, he's even saying that the last 1 week, they haven't recorded any death or any increase in the case in the region so far. And so, after that meeting, he will go into the Upper Regional Coordinating Council, where he's expected to meet the Upper Regional Minister, Charles Luonga Kwozum. And then after that, he will meet the overlord of the Water State, the fourth. And then he will run up the trip at Nadoli, one of the epicenters of the disease in the Upper West region later this afternoon.
Do we know where this epicenter is in the Upper West region?
You know, we've gotten about 14 deaths in the Upper West region, and we are told that majority of these cases are coming from the Nodulu Keleo district, which is seen as a state-and belt in the region.
Right. Thank you so much, Rafiq Salam. Now, moving away from the Upper West region, after dedicating 34 years to mastering the craft of metal fabrication at the Kumasi Technical Institute, 55-year-old Mukhtar Saidu is now on a mission to apply his expertise to manufacturing eco-friendly gas stoves, roasters and boilers tailored to meet the needs of Ghanaian households. This initiative will offer a cleaner alternative to charcoal and firewood to curb air pollution and its harmful effects on public health and the environment. Joy News' Mahmoud Nuruddin visited Saidu's shop at Kumasi Magazine and reports this on Climate Focus.
A Ghanaian fabricator on a mission to reduce air pollution, Mukhtar believes that collective action can spark transformative change.
In a month, our team is able to manufacture about 500 stoves given our current workforce. Interestingly, we often receive customers who purchase these stoves as soon as we complete production. As you can see, our efforts are not only beneficial to individuals but also contribute positively to the country. Looking ahead, I firmly believe that within a decade, we can significantly reduce the country's reliance on firewood, thereby promoting a more sustainable and environmentally friendly practice.
According to studies, charcoal and firewood contribute to emissions, particularly in developing countries, but there is a cleaner alternative. Mokhtar says his products are durable, cost-effective, and produce less emissions.
If we continue to refine our manufacturing process, I'm confident that our product will attract an even larger customer base. The fact that many people are already purchasing and testing our products is a testament to their excellence. We've also priced our products competitively to encourage more people to try them, making them an attractive option for those in the market.
Samuel and Opoku, satisfied customers of Mokhtar, emphasize that the fight against air pollution requires a collective effort.
I've returned to the shop where my mother purchased her oven over 30 years ago, and amazingly, she still uses it today. I'm here to perform some maintenance on the oven. As a baker myself, I started my business around 2000 and bought an oven at the time, which I still use today. While modern ovens make baking easier, traditional local ovens require setting fire in advance to heat them up. However, for those comfortable with using gas, modern ovens are a more convenient option.
Gas in full 100%. So if you are using this type of machine, it's far better because it's different from using charcoal, using wood. You see, right now we are in a place that we are entered a new era. So when you use these things, you see that you are okay, you are far better. The cooking makes fast, and at the same time, you see that the things that you are using to make cook will not have a problem like your cooking utensils will make dark and that kind of thing. So I think it's good.
Mokhtar stresses that everyone must play a role in reducing emissions to create a healthier environment. A report by Mohamed Nuruddin.
Climate Focus is brought to you by Joy News in partnership with Youth Bridge Foundation, bridging gaps for positive youth development, and the Climate Development Knowledge Network.
You're watching Joy News today. We go for a quick break. Please stay. Business next.
Welcome back to Business here on Joy News today. My name is Winston Taki, and as we'll force the business story. Carbank Ghana PLC says it will collaborate with the insurance sector to address challenges affecting insurance penetration. According to the head digital and inclusive banking at Carbank, Martha Quay, the bank will deepen its engagement with customers moving forward. She spoke to Joy Business at the launch of the Bay Insure initiative in partnership with Blue Space and MTN Momo.
Be Insured, an auto insurance marketplace initiative, was launched by Blue Space Financial Cloud in partnership with MTN Momo, Carbank, and leading insurance providers. Speaking to Joy Business, Martha Quay said Be Insured will simplify how Ghanaians compare, purchase, and manage their vehicle insurance.
So Carbank, as part of our strategy for the last 5 to 10 years, have focused on digital transformation. And digital transformation actually requires a lot of collaboration. Collaboration in the sense that there are some solutions that you need partners to work with you to achieve. And that is why it became very necessary for us to partner Blue Space, MTN, to bring this product to bear. The collaboration is important because as CalBank, we have a payment platform we do put out there to assist various companies or business sectors to process payments. And it's one of such solution called CalPay, which is a payment gateway that we are using to partner with Blue Space to drive this insurance marketplace. So as a bank, our strategy is to digitize. And if collaboration is how we achieve that digitization, then that is what we go for. And that is why we've partnered to work with Blue Space and MTN to bring this product to the market.
Chief Product Officer for Mobile Money Limited, Sylvia Otuo-Champon, has been explaining the rationale behind the partnership.
Mobile Money's role in this partnership is really to provide a platform for easy payments or easy access. So we are bringing in our mobile technology and our wallet platform where customers can actually pay premiums and also receive claims all on their phone. So it's that easy, convenient. With your mobile phone, you can use our USSD code as it has been advertised to really register and also make payments and receive your claims at any given time. So that's the role that we play in.
On this part, Revenue Operations Lead for Blue Space, Kwame Pla, emphasized the platform's role in bridging the gap between financial inclusion and insurance access.
In short, it's Ghana's first auto insurance marketplace on USSD. What this means is that we've aggregated multiple of the leading insurance brands on star 170 of the Mobile Money Limited, which is the first ever being done in Ghana and even across some parts of West Africa. What we're trying to do is to increase penetration, comfort and access for auto insurance to, and give them financial inclusion. What that means is that if you're in a rural area and you do not have a smartphone and you have any non-smartphone, you can just dial the short code because USSD has the biggest penetration across the market in Africa.
With Be Insured, drivers can now easily access multiple insurance options, compare policies, and choose flexible payment plans all through a simple USSD code.
In other development, the Sustainable Development, Human Rights Inclusion and Empowerment Project funded by Global Affairs Canada has helped improve food security in the Upper East region, empowering smallholder farmers, especially women. The 3-year project implemented by Canadian Feed the Ghana Children and targeted over 800 vulnerable women farmers in 4 districts of the region and provided them with input to enhance crop production, facilitated the processing and marketing of vegetables, and supported small-scale businesses. Our correspondent Albert Sawyer reports.
The Sustainable Development, Human Rights, Inclusion and Empowerment SHINE project aimed to empower women and girls and facilitate agricultural production yields and income through improved access to agribusiness opportunities. The 3-year project was implemented in Ghana and Ethiopia with a focus on empowering women farmers to achieve food security and improved livelihoods in rural communities. At an event in Bolgatanga to present the validated findings and close the project, its implementers, Canadian Feed the Children, said the project has increased crop yields, led to higher incomes for women farmers, and boosted agribusiness activities. Augustine Nyokuni is the country director of Canadian Feed the Children.
So the project is on vegetable cultivation and with the value chains of production, marketing, and then processing. The project is a $2 million project and it is run in Ghana and in Ethiopia. In 4 districts in the Upper East region of Ghana and in 16 communities. The project targeted 800 smallholder women farmers, vulnerable women farmers. So the project empowered women to undertake agribusiness activities. The project also facilitated small-scale businesses and supported them to come up as emergents and to participate in the incubation hub. I think one most significant component of this project is how gender bylaws were revised, integrated into the district assembly bylaws, and are being gazetted.
As part of the project, some male farmers were also trained in gender inclusiveness so they could better appreciate the crucial role women play in agriculture. They also received support with farm inputs and machinery. Trade Aid Integrated was an implementing partner in the SHINE project. Nicholas Apokera is the executive director.
The project largely was very successful. We achieved many of our targets and in fact exceeded many of them as well. And we aim to take up some of the actions that were implemented by the project to carry them forward. For example, the incubation is something that Trade Aid will carry on and then work with the farmers to recruit more incubatees. We'll also work with the cooperative as from the FBO.
That's all for business here on Joy News today. My name is Winston Taki. Up next is sports.
Time now to bring you sports here on Joy News today with me, Muftau Nabila Abdullah, former chairman of the Ghana League Clubs Association. JYRPR says that the Ghana Football Association should provide adequate security at match venues to curtail what happened during the Ghana Premier League match day 19 between Kumasi, Ashanti, Chereponi, and Chereponi, where a football fan was stabbed to death. He described that as a blot on the people of Nswatre.
It's rather unfortunate. I wish we don't mention it. It happened in my hometown. Yes. So my team I support. It's very, very rather unfortunate. It shouldn't have happened. My sympathy goes to Kotoko family, the family of the late Nana Poli. It's rather unfortunate. Though I pray that we are forgiven. We don't let us go up. It's very bad. Very, very bad. We didn't do well. Whatever the situation, would have been a little bit patient because it's football. Rather unfortunate.
This is a blot.
It's a big blot to Nswatre town itself and then Nswatre man, which we don't mention it. Very painful, very sad, very disgraceful, very unfortunate. We are sorry for what happened. Though I'm not on the executive of Nswatre, I'm from Nswatre. We are sorry for what happened. It was unwarranted. It shouldn't have happened at all. Very sad. We beg for forgiveness. We didn't do well.
How do we bring hooliganism, or how do we curtail hooliganism in football?
You see, we must be fair. The match we are talking about, there was inadequate police security. And we must go by the rules of the game. If it's match A, we must go 20 soldiers. We must ensure that 20 police are there. I quite remember sometimes we were bringing the military to supplement the efforts of the police. We must be fair and tighten up our security. It requires money, but money can buy life. It requires money, but money can buy life.
That's very true. Money cannot buy life, indeed. And there are people who say that because the FA often ask the home team to provide the security, get the police and other security people to go and safeguard the venues and all that. There are people who believe that some of these clubs do not have the resources to be able to get the required number of security at match venues. So what should the FA do now?
You see, apart from the resources, I don't think the Nswatre policeman was arrest Nswatre supporter. After the arrest, do you know what will happen? More so, I don't think Sunyani policeman will arrest Bofakwa supporter or arrest Nswatre BA United supporter. If there is a need, the police security should come from outside the locality. And then we should not think about money. The FA should take it upon itself to provide adequate security for both home and awaiting. Nsuate police population is not up to 20. How do you use Nsuate police? And not all of them can leave the office to go to the stadium. Yes, if possible, they come from other, despite the cost. We should not think about the cost. So that they are neutral and they perform their work well. At times, some policemen will stop their duty and will be watching the matches. If the home team score, they will be jubilating. It's natural.
Up next is Showbiz.
Hello there, good afternoon and welcome to the Showbiz segment with me, Jacqueline and Suma Yabwa. To our first story, more trouble for Sean Diddy Combs as a new lawsuit has surfaced accusing the embattled rapper of a nightclub nightmare in 2012. We have more in the following report.
Now stepping forward as John Doe claims he was just 17 when he was paid by a bouncer to sneak into a New York nightclub. Once inside, he says he was invited to Diddy's private table, where the night took a dark turn. According to court filings, the teen was given multiple shots of vodka, which left him feeling hazy and disoriented. The plaintiff alleges he was led to a back room, where things got even more chaotic. He claims he realized the drinks were spiked, leaving him defenseless as he drifted in and out of consciousness. The lawsuit states Sean Diddy Combs raped him in that room, a claim the rapper has vehemently denied, calling previous allegations sickening. But wait, there's more. As Diddy sits in the New York jail awaiting trial on sex trafficking and racketeering charges, Kanye West is making headlines of his own. Ye took to X, formerly Twitter, to plead with President now Trump. Free Puff, he wrote, tagging Trump directly. But will it work? So as the beat drops on this latest chapter, one thing is clear. The music may have stopped, but the drama is far from over.
Well, back home, when it comes to stage performances, Article 1 isn't here for the jump and go vibe. He's aiming at the wow factor. Well, the Ghanaian musician is spilling secret to delivering a show-stopping performance. He spoke on Daybreak Hits with DJ Slim.
In an interview with DJ Slim on Daybreak Hits on Hit FM, Article 1 stressed that great stagecraft is key. According to him, a performance should leave the audience craving for more after the show is over.
Good performance, stagecraft, okay, your craft, starting from your intro, how you enter the stage. When you enter the stage, the people should feel it. In the middle, they should enjoy you. When you are leaving, there should be something that everybody can talk about. So when people don't really talk about your performance, I don't consider it as a performance. Forget about how you are going to dress nicely and come and do everything. When people don't talk about the performance, it should be memorable. Like it should be something that will be in the back of people's mind.
And even with all his experience, he admits he can be his own toughest critic when things don't go as planned. Lately, the solo hitmaker has been making headlines for calling out the Telesol Ghana music organizers. His request puts him on the performance lineup because, in his words, he can do better than the jump and go acts they have been booking.
For those who got your tweet wrong when you said jump and go artists, people were some good friends of mine were like, oh, who are those jump and go artists that article is referring to?
Okay, let me clarify this here. You see, the work we are doing, when you don't, I listened to Richie said something here that when you're not getting the attention, you have to come out. So if I made that tweet without, is it a jump and go, I intentionally made it bold. I know our people say they like talking. They want to talk. So when I added the jump and go, hey, I think this need be a jump and go. I've gotten your attention.
Okay, so it was just a clickbait.
That particular site is to get your attention to listen to what I'm talking about, because I was talking about making sure the performance for the TGMA is very quality for the world to, like, something that the world will remind, like, memorable something. And then secondly, I said something about when artists are performing, the front stage is very dull.
Yeah.
I'm not the one to come and say it for them to say I'm the one saying it, but it's very, very dull.
Clearly, Article 1 wants the art in artists. For Joy News, I'm Jacqueline Ansama Yaboa.
On that note, it's a wrap for the showbiz segments with me, Jacqueline Ansama Yaboa. Over to you, Fmr Finance. Thank you, my brown sugar. Thank you so much for bringing us some entertainment updates. But quickly, before we wrap up the bulletin, we brought our social media community the update on how the OSP declared the former finance minister wanted. And here are some of your comments. So Eunice says that all these are settings. It won't go anywhere. Ghana we day. But if the NDC will be able to prosecute and bring back all the money this humble looter has taken from Ghana, then NDC is having another huge win in the next 4 years. Continues, William also says that the time has come. The end of the wicked. Ha ha ha. Ghana is going to work. And finally, Kahin Day says that he should tell us how much Ofori-Atta has stolen, not only declaring him wanted. In fact, it continues, but if you visit our social media portals, you find more of these comments and your reactions to most of the stories that we brought you earlier today. Tomorrow as well, I shall bring you some of your comments, and so I like that you give us a follow on all of our social media platforms and interact with us. But thank you for joining us today. That'll be all for today on Joy News. I am Emefa Akosia Adeti. For more news though, do log on to myjoyonline.com. Thank you for watching.